On this edition of The Small Interview, our guest is RVTV producer and host of Frightfully Brilliant, Visual Hollywood, The Dark Goddess, and multiple other RVTV show series, David the Bruce. Alrighty, hello Road Valley, and welcome to another edition of The Small Interview with Glamour Dave. I'm your host, Glamour Dave Nienow, and I am continuing once again to do an interview with my fellow producer and friend here at RVTV, David the Bruce. So this is part 2 of my interview with David the Bruce, and so I welcome David to the show once again, my friend. So
hey,
welcome.
Good to be back.
Yeah. So we had an interesting part 1. You got into showing your abilities, your preaching abilities, and your past life as in religious studies. So now we are going to explore your current work here at RVTV and our mutual work that we do here at the studio, and get into some discussion about the politics of community media and how that's going on across the country. So you came here basically, my understanding, 17 years ago and got connected with RVTV, and you have 12 shows here at the studio. I've only got 4, so I'm only as 1/3 as good as you, my friend. So
Well, you've done exceedingly well. I want to talk about that a little later, but no, you really have.
Yeah.
You're a breath of fresh air.
Okay, well, all right.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah, I try to use some scope, you know,
Yeah.
and you know.
Oh, gee. Well, in terms of RVTV, I think I mentioned in the last episode what brought me here was I went through this pretty horrific divorce, and I needed to be around family.
Yeah.
I had family up here that tended to be kind of prejudicial. But you know what? Family is family.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's amazing. This really does break down barriers, you know?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. Anyway, but more about that in just a little bit. I arrived here on a Sunday with a U-Haul truck, car in tow. I was moving here, and that was the first Sunday after 2001. On Monday morning, the second day I was here.
Yeah.
And I signed up for that field class and the studio class. Yeah, that was the very first thing I did when I arrived here. And I got to tell you, in hindsight, man, that was the best thing I could have done. Geez, you know, when you come into an area that's new, one of the first things you need to do is to establish kind of a social network, a social group, you know, get involved somehow. You got to, if you're going to survive, you got to do it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Relationship, like we talked about last time.
Yeah.
And I had used the power of media already to raise all this money. I got a great story to tell you on that one, but let me just say that this is where I wanted to be immediately. And this was where I wanted to develop the circle of friends that we all need. And it has never, ever let me down. As a matter of fact, probably the only bad thing about RVTV, between you and I, you don't want to get too involved because it'll sap all your time.
Yeah.
You have so many friends that want you to help you on their, they want you to help them on their show, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it's this is like my other home, you know. You know, I'm either at home or I'm here, you know. You know, doing my shows, helping on other people's shows. But it definitely is proven to be one of the most tremendous communities of people that I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, you were actually you're an Oregonian.
That's right. I'm a native.
From the get-go.
Yep.
I can claim family, but I can't claim birth.
Yeah.
I can't. And you were raised here.
Yeah.
And you went to high school. Was it Beaverton?
No. Well,
No,
for 6
how was
months.
that?
Well, I've lived here all my life except for a 6-month period when we were in Portland and living in the Beaverton area when I was in high school. But otherwise, but I finished my high school down here. And
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And
What high school did you go to?
North Medford.
North Medford.
Right. So,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's except for that 6-month period where my father had to do some technical, go through a technical training school in Portland. The Road Valley's always been my home.
So you've been here this whole time.
Yeah.
I showed up here the first day I was here. I could ask what took you so long, or I could ask you in a more kinder way. So what was the stimulus that brought you over to RVTV?
Well, for me, I've actually always kind of paid attention to the public access programming channels throughout my life.
You have?
Yeah, we've always basically kind of had cable, so I'd always, I'd occasionally land on the public access channels and see what was going on.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, I've always been aware of these classes over here, but my ability to get over here was always an issue, being in Medford, and it just never was kind of an easy thing to get over to Ashland consistently for me. And then when I got into the position of having to care for my father full time, that's like the kind of situation where as a full-time caregiver, you get into a very sheltered life because it's all about the person that you're caring for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
my ability to get out even more was really restricted.
Yeah.
But the idea of the classes over here was always something I found interesting.
Did you?
Yeah. And having been a pro photographer, and been a web designer, that was kind of like a business for about 10 years for me. And and finally, it was like in the winter of 2016 when, my mother and I were seeing my father going downhill a bit more, and I just kind of in my mind knew that I probably figured that 2017 was probably going to be my last year for my father.
Oh.
And so I knew that I had to really, that's my father right there on the ear between us. But it was, it was a matter that. I knew that he was going to pass away sometime in 2017. My life was going to change again, and I had to kind of make a plan. And so I figured that coming over here, learning some video production skills would be a thing to enhance all the pro photography work I had done before. Now, my idea then was I was going to come over here, go through the classes, learn some basic video production skills, and then figure out what the hell I'm going to do afterwards.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of like, I had a nice Canon 7D Pro body, right?
Yeah.
And not once had I ever pressed a video button on that camera, right?
Ooh.
I wanted to figure out what I did after I pressed a video button on the camera, right? And so, I came over here, and then, after my father did pass, then it was like my life exploded open with more hours available, and I came to the studio, got active. The capstone show that I produced from the studio production class turned into a series, and then with my co-host of that capstone show, Cassandra Wass, we took that concept, turned it into a series, and then eventually it just exploded.
Just grew from there.
It just grew from there. I got all these other show ideas, they turned into series, and so technically I got 4 series here at the studio. So I'm 1/3 the producer that you are because you got 12. But it's like, it's been an amazing experience. It's, I've got the community of producers here at RVTV is such a supportive community. It's allowed me to achieve a level of personal success that I never could even have imagined before that it would happen, just from taking that class.
Yeah.
And so, I've gotten...
I remember that back in that day.
Yeah, I've got these shows. I've had my shows been selected at film festivals around the world. I've won some awards, so a couple of my shows here are like
I jotted them all down.
Oh
here.
yeah, oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
did.
Okay.
Let's see
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
You got
okay.
The James Raglan Producer of the Year this year, right?
Yeah.
And you had the Best Arts and Crafts Show. You got 2 awards for that.
Yeah.
And you have Best On-Air Personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best Interview.
Yeah.
Right? And wasn't that Best Interview kind of like it's just out of the blue kind of?
Yeah, it was. It was actually that award was for my interview with my mother, Dorothy Nienow. So, and what happened was an artist had canceled for Rogue Artisans and Crafters because their child was sick.
Did you say Rogue
Artisans and Crafters? That's my
It
art
almost
show.
sounded like you said crackers.
Yeah, well, it does kind of run. You speak too fast, it can kind of run funny. But but I'm fine. I'm fine with all the funny. So
You are. And then you had Best Set Design.
Yeah,
Now
and
your mother was pretty much responsible for this one.
that's right. Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And Best New Producer.
yeah.
And you are. You've been here
2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I must say that I've never seen anyone. Well, I probably have, but it's very rare that someone like yourself is so close to your mother and your father. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I just think that's great to have a family like that. A lot of families are just.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, no, I've been lucky
You
to
have.
have a very supportive family around me.
Yeah.
So my parents have always been very supportive of whatever dreams or ideas that I wanted to pursue in my life. But at the same time, we're not a rich family, and I'm the kind of individual that I can be an idea generating machine at times. But at the same time, while I'm always creating ideas for whatever, some ideas are more difficult to pull off than others. And a lot of great ideas of mine in the past have never been able to successfully come together because I never could pull the resources together. But here at RVTV, this is a community with lots of resources that are brought to bear to achieve show ideas that that makes it possible to, if you get an idea, you can pull it off here at the studio. I mean, because here we got a tremendous base of very expensive video gear that you don't have to pay.
No, you don't have to pay for it.
Don't have to pay for it.
It's right here.
It's right here. Become a studio producer.
Yep.
You come in and the equipment's available.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of building your relationships with the fellow producers and having them come in to help pull off whatever idea you have.
It's like a no-brainer.
That's right. Yeah.
Just come in with who you are and what you are.
That's right.
Your interest, and just see what would happen.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I don't know of anything quite like this.
Yeah, well, you and I have talked about, that it's this studio, this facility, the people here, and the shows that are produced, they all come from the heart.
They do.
Right?
They do. Do your heart.
So follow what's in your heart in terms of ideas, subjects, things that concern you, that are important to you, and you can get your voice out there.
You can. You really can. And then you've taken some of your shows and submitted them to Film Fest.
Yeah, and it's been amazing. I've been surprised that I've gotten as many film festival selections as I have, and I've only been doing that for just the past year. So I've been here for 2 years. I've been submitting my show productions to film festivals for the past year. I have, at this point, I've got 268 film festival submissions. Okay, now that sounds like a lot, but and there's some money spent, but it spreads out over the past year to really not being all that expensive, really, because of the approach I take in selecting the film festivals. But out of those 268 submissions, I've gotten like 25 selections. Okay, I've gotten 2 wins just in the past month. I've got my first 2 award wins from festivals, and I've had like 9 semifinalists. I've had 1 finalist. The rest have been just general selections into the festivals. So, it's amazing that the quality of what we're capable of producing here at RVTV is able to be recognized at different film festivals around the world, right? They're seeing the quality of what we as volunteer producers can do. And you know, I have taken this opportunity here to kind of, you know, I used it as a way of jump starting my life after the passing of my father, and to like.
Hey, we have something in common there, don't we?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I look at this as a way to kind of re-jumpstart my life, get into a new career direction. I'm not making any money yet at it, but I keep getting my stuff out there, and know that the quality of what I'm producing with everyone's help here is the people are able to recognize the quality.
That's right.
And I just keep pushing at it until someone, you know, says, dude, I like what you're doing. I'm going to pay you a lot of money to keep doing what you're doing. Right? That's the objective. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Walt Disney once said that he was happy to be being paid to do what he would do
for free.
Anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm a great believer in following your heart.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just something intuitive about what's inside of you. It's really quite amazing. I think everybody is a very wise person, except they don't know it.
Yeah.
You know, they're sitting on more wisdom than they could even. You don't need to go out and hire some professional. It's all within you.
Yeah.
You know, your experiences matter.
That's right.
People that you've talked to, it matters. And the group that's around you matters. And I think also the story that you live by.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you have a self-defeating story, life story, that's going to be your life. You're going to live that story successfully.
Yeah.
But you won't have a successful life.
Yeah.
So you've got to have a successful story. And yours, I mean, it was all very positive. You were, in your story, you were always moving forward. You even took the death of your father and turned it into lemonade.
Yeah.
You truly did. He goes with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
So how much time do we have left?
Like 10 minutes.
What?
Yeah, we're like about 10 minutes. Yeah,
10 minutes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Geez, time is going by so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's, you know, I think this is because of what we do here at RVTV, and you know, and what I've learned from everyone here, and what is the benefit that it brings to the community of the Road Valley. You know, I'm always up for getting a discussion out there about what it can do, and you know, you've been certainly one of our leaders here at the studio, being the chair of our Public Access Advisory Council for for basically forever, it seems like, and you know, and we're together, the producers here we're forming a new nonprofit to help continue to advance with the formation of Road Valley Voices.
We do, yeah. Yeah, and I think too, right now the world needs good productions that aren't recycled. You know, the EU has met, and they've decided that media platforms like YouTube, Facebook are responsible for copyrighted material that gets uploaded.
Yeah.
Prior to this time, they weren't. It was just like the postal carrier bringing something to your address. They can't be responsible for what's in it.
Yeah.
And so these platforms, which were basically the postal carriers carrying content from one place to another, are now responsible. That's like saying to postal workers, yeah, we're going to put you in jail. We're going to fine you if we find anything illegal in the mail. Well, that's just wrong. But anyways, the EU, in their wisdom, have decided to make YouTube and Facebook accountable. Now, there are some things which I think they should be held accountable for. I'm not a great fan of hate speech, obviously, but it changes the whole demographic of the internet. When you put something on the internet, it's worldwide.
That's right.
By the way, there has never been a generation like this one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. unless you were CBS, ABC, and NBC, you could not put something on television.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now you can.
That's right.
And you can do it internationally. Look at you and what you've been able to do, turning a lemon into lemonade since your dad's passing, reorienting yourself, and finding such a great community.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. And your content is original. I can assure you that this is the first time this has ever happened. This is the domain of what you see right here. It does not belong to one of those big media companies.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so you can put this on YouTube.
Yeah.
It passed muster by the EU. What we do here at RVTV is the future.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're listening to this and you have something on your heart, something you want to talk to others about, please come down, take the classes, get involved, man. This is amazing, and it's transformative. Well, I tell you, I've had so many transformative moments since I've been doing this. Yeah, I tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and and with RVTV, this is a public access TV station that is the content that's created here is locally produced content.
It is.
And that content is, concerning our community. It's all public-oriented, Road Valley community-based, expressions of ideas and ideals and concerns. Yeah. Right. And so, it's the community's ability to communicate to itself via the station, and by the people that come in and create the shows, that they're doing and concerning the things that are important to them. Whereas, we've got multiple other local broadcast stations that are corporately owned.
That's right.
Right.
Corporately owned.
And while they do, each has its own local news people, for the local news broadcast, half of that broadcast is still the national feeds.
Yep.
Yep. And
preach it, brother.
So it's, where this is 100% all community themed stuff.
100%, that's right. And it's all over the map.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am really thrilled. So I just want to encourage all those who are tuned in to come down and be a part. Absolutely be a part.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's and it's the availability of the equipment, the quality of the equipment, the quality of the facility. Yeah, it's all it's all current modern stuff, and everyone here is just just an incredibly supportive group. So whatever idea you have, whatever topic that concerns you, you're able to get your voice out there about what concerns you.
And it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. I've even done favors for friends. I mean, I had a group of people that I came in contact with, and they liked putting on drag queen shows. Yeah. So I did a drag queen show. Yeah. I never would have known that community. Yeah. And boy, what a community. I've got a lot of stories, but I can't do it this time because we only have, 3 minutes left. But I got a lot of great stories about the drag queen community. And burlesque. Oh my God. Yeah. I never thought I would ever produce a burlesque show. Aside from attending one, out of my background, that's just something you did not do. But more than that, you do arts and craft. My parents lived right across the street from the Crater Rock Museum. Yeah. And that's one of your favorite stomping grounds.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, look at the variety here.
Yeah.
And then there's some really good enlightened churches that have come aboard, and they broadcast.
Yeah, we got.
It's all over the map.
We got great education shows. John Letts here does great education shows. We got children's shows. We got music shows. We got the widest variety. We got everything.
There is, other than the obvious, there is no censorship here. Yeah. And whatever is on your heart, you can do. Yep. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So where are we at? We're down to like the last couple of minutes? Yeah, okay, we got 3 minutes. All right, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, David, I'm grateful for having you come on. You're absolutely a joy to hang around with because you've got great stories. And I knew that having you coming on was going to make for an easy interview because you're like John Letts. Once I get you guys started and wound up, it just let you go do your thing, and I just get to enjoy listening to all your stories.
Well, thank you for that, but you probably also realized that I hijacked the show and I interviewed you.
Yeah, well,
and that's because
all right.
I really believe that you have a great story.
Yeah.
And it's not a unique story. It's a typical story.
Yeah.
You know, over here on the camera is Regina.
Yeah.
And she has a heart for women's issues.
That's right.
And she started with Girl Talk, which is actually going to film right here in this studio, right after this is done, right?
Yep.
And then it transformed into another thing that was in her heart. Set come through in her heart to do, which was travel.
Yeah.
You know, so the Getaway Girl.
Yeah.
So isn't that something? The thing that's here you can give expression to, and that inspires others worldwide, because everything that we do here on RVTV not only is a local, but also goes on the Internet Archive, which is worldwide.
Yeah.
Imagine having that kind of influence.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, basically once you've got your stuff done and it gets out there in the internetarchive.org, you know, it's there forever.
It is.
You know, until
fortunately or
unfortunately.
yes.
Yeah. Well, we're down to the last minute, so I'm going to do my wrap up, and I'm going to thank you, David, for coming on.
My pleasure.
It's been an enjoyable interview, and I very much appreciate your friendship, my friend. So.
Well,
all righty. So, Road Valley, I thank you for tuning in and watching. I thank my guest, David the Bruce. I thank my crew for all their fine help in putting the show together. And so, signing off, and thank you, Road Valley, and we will see you next time. And that's it for this edition of the Small Interview for tonight. We're always eager to hear what you have to say, so follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and support this show at our Patreon page at patreon.com/GlamourDave. You can send us your comments to viewer@glamourdave.com.